Hi everyone, nubkeks here and welcome back to Nub Raids. In today's video, we're looking at one of my favorite champions in the game, such a good champion. It is Visix the Unbowed. She's a legendary Void champion, defense based in the Dark Elf faction, and you get her as a guaranteed champion after playing for 9 months in the game. She's really the last, as of right now, the last really good login reward pretty much is Visix. She's like the crown of what you're gonna get. And the funny thing is, when she first came out, she was terrible, but since then, she received a huge buff and is incredibly good. The funny thing is, you look at the ratings in the game, and these ratings are really reflecting how she was when she first came out. So you can see, for example, the most recent thing, Hydra, it's quite a contrast, isn't it? It's quite a contrast. The score is way higher because it's starting to reflect just how good she is. Faction War she was always okay at, but yeah, she is a phenomenal champion and can do not only just like one thing well for your account, but she can actually do several different jobs, and you can sort of customize her to what you exactly want her to do. I'd even go so far as to say she's as good as, if not better than, Syl of the Drakes. Like, I'm saying it, I genuinely think that, especially when you push into endgame stuff, I feel like she even stays relevant even a bit longer than Syl does, which is pretty incredible because Syl is that good. I think at the very least they're certainly on the same tier. I'll even show them to you together in some teams, for example. Her A1 then, let's look at her skills. A1, Flanged Mace, attacks one enemy 2 times. Each hit has an 80% chance, that's a 100% chance when booked, of decreasing the target's turn meter by 15%, and it fills Visix's turn meter equal to the amount the target loses. This is a phenomenal A1, so good. It's basically Armiger but better. This was one of like the longest running things in the community, was that, you know, your easiest access to turn meter control was often with Armiger, who's a little uncommon. And hell, you know, for an uncommon, he's fantastic. He really is. But he has uncommon level stats. He simply decreases turn meter by 30%. Visix steals that turn meter for herself, makes her run faster. Visix attacks twice, which is better. That can help you proc things like taking down the Fire Knight shield, for example. So yeah, Visix is like Armiger, but better. And this, by the way, has a total of 3.2 times defense multiplier on this A1. So it's not the hardest hitting A1 in the game, but it does good, solid damage. And believe it or not, you know, this is, by itself, this is actually incredible, right? You can run her in, let's say, a spider team, and you could turn off her other abilities, or, well, you'd probably have her do Sinister Allies once and then have her just only do Flanged Mace. I ran her in teams like that for a while myself, just to turn meter control that main spider, keep his turn meter down, and she boosts herself every time she does it, so she's just A1, 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 spamming it and keeping that turn meter down. It's really impressive. Her A2 then, Sinister Allies, 3 turn cooldown. It's 4 turns, 3 turns when booked. Attacks all enemies, has a 75%, 100% chance when booked of putting a 30% decreased speed debuff for 2 turns, and then also places a 50% ally protection buff on all allies except this champion for 2 turns. And once again, this is a phenomenal ability, really useful. AoE decreased speed is actually quite hard to come by. And certainly looking at Hydra, to get AoE decreased speed on tanky champions, right? Champions that aren't going to flop over dead instantly like Dark Elhain when you go on anything above normal, it's tough to get. Visix can bring this for your team. AoE decreased speed, great for, in particular, great for Hydra, and great for well, it's good for Faction Wars. Really good for Doom Tower and higher level dungeon waves, right? To just slow down those waves and help you just keep ahead of them. Doom Tower especially, right? Ally protection as well, fantastic buff, keeping your team alive, helping them stay alive. One thing to watch out for is that Visix can die quite a bit because of this. That's one thing we'll watch out for. She's going to be drawing a lot of attention onto herself. We'll talk about that when we get to the gearing section. And this hits reasonably hard. It's a 3.5 times defense multiplier on this AoE hit with only a 3 turn cooldown. So this does good solid AoE damage. And speaking of good solid AoE damage, single combat then, her A3, 4 turn cooldown, books to a 3 turn cooldown, AoE attack, and puts provoke debuff for 1 turn. 100% chance, it just AoE provoke. 100% chance. Also gives her a shield buff equal to 20% of her max HP for 2 turns. Damage is based on defense, and this has a 4.1 times defense multiplier. So this actually hits quite solidly hard. This is a really good multiplier. This is really good. I mean, for example, if we look at her stats, she's got 1,476 defense. We looked at Ethos the other day. He's got higher attack, but he has like 4.2, 4.4 multipliers in his AoE. My Foley, right, who's got about the same attack as Visix has defense, he has a 4 times multiplier on his AoE. So Visix is actually reasonably comparable, very comparable, in fact, I would say, but coming from a defense perspective. So she's doing lots of AoE damage with 2 AoE moves on 3 turns cooldown. And the AoE provoke, again, is so good for dungeon content, so good for Doom Tower. And the shield on herself helps her stay alive through this provoke. But you can see what I mean in terms of it can be a little bit tricky to keep her alive. She actually combos very well with Still of the Drakes, who has that single target res, by the way, with this. Because she does give herself a shield, but she's got these incoming attacks from provoke. She'll have incoming damage from ally protection. There can be a lot of damage coming in. So that's the only real downside, is that she's doing so much here that she can actually leave herself vulnerable. She also has a 37% ally defense in faction crypts aura, which is really good as well. It's very solid. So let's look at her build. And you know, I think really, honestly, there's a lot of good options here. There really, really are. Straight off the bat, so let me talk about what I have her in first. So I've put her in speed sets and 1 resilience set. So I'm mostly trying to get her to go fast, right? Keep her going fast and making her a bit more tanky. If we look at the total stats I've built for her, you can see we're almost at 50,000 HP. Just she needs a decent HP pool just so she doesn't get killed off by provoke hits and ally protection. More HP is good. Attack does nothing. Defense is not only her source of damage, but helps her stay alive. 4,000 defense is sort of what I like to aim for here. Now, obviously, when you first get her, guys, you're going to have lower stats than this, and that's okay. So, for example, if we look at accuracy, I have her with 300 accuracy because that's for pushing up into higher levels of Hydra. It's for pushing up through all of hard Doom Tower. And with the particular teams I've put together there, you don't need this, right? So if you're doing level 20 dungeons, you're fine with 200 accuracy. So you can scale down there. You could scale her speed back, all the rest, right? You can go with lower stats for lower level content and she'll still bring the same sort of effects. Speed, I do value very highly on her. You want her to be very quick so she can get ahead of the enemy, keep decreased speed on them, keep rotating through to her provoke to lock down those enemy waves. Crit rate, I think, is great. I have her at 85%. Personally, I might re-gear her at some point to get her to 100% crit rate, because just to max her damage out. I think 70% crit rate, if you can get there. If you can't get there without her being too squishy, just ditch crit rate and crit damage entirely. That's totally fine. But try to get her at least to 70%, I think would be really nice. And that way, you can check out I actually just did yesterday, I think, my guide, a budget team for Doom Tower normal. I'll give you a quick view of that team again here in today's video. But in that team, we're running Still of the Drakes with Visix to bring you that single target res and some AoE stuns. Visix is really the queen with AoE decreased speed and AoE provoke. And we're going to run her with another guaranteed champion, Archmage Helmut, who gives you increased speed and also 30% increased crit rate. So if you hit that 70% crit rate and you give her that increased crit rate buff, she'll actually hit 100% crit rate and really pump out good damage. Though just straight up getting her to 100% would be nice as well. Crit damage is a luxury if you can, but really not important. And resist, I think, would be amazing for her. Obviously, resist would be great, but I think I would prioritize the accuracy, the speed, the defense, the HP more, crit rate more. So resist is mostly from my Great Hall here. But there you go. For the individual pieces, I have her with a speed weapon with accuracy, HP on it, speed and crit rate on the helmet. A lot of these are 5-star pieces as well. Like, this is good gear, but by the time you get Visix, you'll start to have stuff that's kind of similar. Obviously, perception sets from the Forge are really good as well. Got lots of defense percent on this one. These could do with better glyphs as well. You can see I haven't, like this one could get 4 more speed out. Crit rate gloves, defense percent on the chest, and then speed on the boots. And then for your accessories, sort of filling in what you're missing, defense would be the best thing here. I mean, she's got 2 rolls in flat HP. Not the best, but I mean, we got 1 roll in HP percent, 1 roll defense percent. It's 6-star legendary. It's still good. We have a 5-star crit damage amulet. if you are struggling to reach this, it's totally fine. In fact, maybe even better to put her in just like a HP amulet or a defense amulet. Something that's just going to up her defensive stats. You can boost up your accuracy with this amulet as well. Whatever you need to do to reach those stat thresholds. And then an accuracy banner, looking for speed. HP is on this. You'd be looking for defense percent as well. And that's roughly what you're going to do. Other good options. So I've gone in speed sets because I want her fast. I need her to be fast, very fast, because I'm clearing like Doom Tower hard, where you're going up against potentially enemies with 250, 260 speed. So I want her to be quick, right? She needs to be quick. Other sets that you could run her on if we minimize here. So speed is great. Even just a basic defense set is great. A basic life set is great. Critical rate, critical damage, accuracy if you need it. I actually think she's probably not bad in lifesteal because she's got those 2 AoE attacks. So it's probably a decent option. What else would be good? Potentially Frost, seeing as she's provoking, but I'd probably steer away from it. Regen is maybe a good option because she does take so much damage herself. So that's not bad. Possibly Relentless if you got lots of Relentless gear. You could even build her as a pure nuker, right? We talked about her multipliers. You could put her in like savage defense based gear and build her to be a nuker. I'll show you some of that potential here as well. I think stun set also really does stand out to me. She's got 2 AoE attacks, both on a 3-turn cooldown. She is a prime candidate for a stun set. I'd put her in a really good stun set myself, but I actually don't have a spare one right now. But that would be the best thing for faction wars, dungeons, Doom Tower, all that sort of stuff. Yeah, that would sort of stand out to me as being really good. Immortal's not bad. Divine Speed is good. You know, Resilience, Perception, all that sort of stuff. You sort of get the gist. Yeah, she's very flexible in what you do. For her masteries as well, you can also be flexible here based off how you want to build her. I have her going down the offense tree and the support tree. This is really for, you know, progression sort of content, mostly progression. I'm looking for Doom Tower hard, pushing through that. That's where I want her to help me most. So we're going to up her crit rate and crit damage because she hits hard. Ultimately, we're just going for War Master. With all the AoE hits she's doing, War Master's going to do a ton of damage in Doom Tower. It's going to do a ton of damage in Hydra, where she can be really strong. And then just, you know, upping her accuracy, more accuracy, more accuracy. Give her more turn meter when her debuffs expire. Evil Eye to sort of double up on her A1 already reducing turn meter, make it reduce it even more, get some more artifact stat bonuses, and increasing the duration of her decreased speed as well, just for maximum uptime of that. I think it's a pretty straightforward build. You are free though to mix this one up if you want to. If you want to build her a bit differently, you totally can. But let's look at her damage potential, guys. Let's look at her damage potential. So this is one thing which I think a lot of people won't appreciate. Let me actually stick in some food here as well. You 3 handsome devils can go in. So I use Ethos, and we looked at Ethos in a previous video, and Ethos can clear this. He's built in pure damage. He can clear this in, you know, 5 to 7 seconds. He's my dedicated campaign farmer. As you saw from Visix, Visix is built in, like, she's not built to campaign farm. She's built way too fast. She doesn't have full crit rate, and she's got tons of accuracy, right? So I'm building her for other content. But even with this build, I want to show you, you guys will be able to see it, the potential of her as a campaign farmer. Look at that. A2, one-shots the wave. A2, A3, it didn't crit on that guy, but that's okay. And then she comes in again. Bam, bam. 9 seconds, guys. 9 seconds. And she smashed through. She didn't one-shot wave 2 because she didn't crit. She only has 85% crit for me. But you put her in 100% crit rate, and you can see, like, she's doing really good damage here. So if here, for example, it goes wrong, she wasted one of her AoE attacks. We'll come back around. Don't worry, she one-shot those guys. She should have her A3. Will she one-shot them? Not quite. Killed him. Again, 10 seconds. She's doing the job. She's absolutely doing the job here. It would be great if we could get a run where she one-shots everything. Come on. Not quite, but that's okay. One-shot them with this one now, and it'd be almost as fast as you could go. No, about 8 seconds. Guys, look at that. Like, that's not bad, right? That is not bad. And like I said, the excess speed, she's got about 30 more speed than she needs to do this. She's got, you know, 300 more accuracy than she needs for this particular job. You might have a really good upgrade to your campaign farmer sitting there in your vault, in your collection, and you didn't even realize she was good for this. She's got 2 AoEs on a 3-turn cooldown. She is phenomenal for this. Really good. Yeah, I think she's great. If anyone actually uses her for Nightmare campaign, let me know. I'm not sure exactly. We could try it. We could try, I guess. Do you want to try it? We could try it. It probably won't work. I've genuinely no idea. I should have tested this before the video, huh? I should have been a professional. I should have. But, you know, we're keeping it honest, I guess. So we'll see. I imagine her damage is probably going to be too low. Yeah, okay. So I can already see that because she's not built for damage here, she's going to be too slow. So really, to be a Nightmare farmer, you'd want to be putting her in Savage set. You'd want to push her. I mean, 4,000 defense isn't bad. If you can get her closer to 4.5, maybe 5,000, that's a lot to ask for. But if you can, obviously the 100% crit rate, maybe she will do this, but it's going to be slow. You'd want her to be pushing, you know, over 200% crit damage, more like 220, preferably like 230, 40, 50 maybe. But I mean, she's getting through. And the hilarious thing is, it took quite a while for our teammates here to actually die. I mean, they're still going, these level 12 rares through Nightmare campaign. There we go. Prince Kaimar killed them eventually with his A1 stuff. I mean, she's just running circles around these guys. I've got mine very fast, like 230 speed. It's very quick. With that decreased speed, though, maybe she's going to do it, guys. She gives herself a shield every time she A3s. And, I mean, mine's not even built for this, but she's doing it anyway. I mean, this is so slow that it's not useful at all. But she just, yeah, there we go. She just did it. That's amazing. Okay, like I said, I mean, you know, Ethos for me farms it in like 9 seconds when he's more geared up because he's built for doing this job. So she doesn't do it quick, but she does it. Again, if you put her in proper gear for campaign farming, she's gonna rip through it. She's really good for it, and I think probably most people have no idea. They have no idea she's that good. She's absolutely incredible. Okay, so for the arena, I've had to cut this a few times. I'm having a really tough time making her work. Basically, the issue that you run into with Visix, if you want to use her in the arena, she is good in the sense that she does bring you an AoE provoke, right? For a turn, a guaranteed AoE provoke. It's not terrible. It's decent, and she can hit hard. The issue that I ran into is that I actually don't have anyone that is faster than her that can put increased defense on her to make her hit harder. I don't actually have anyone that can do that. There's one issue with Arbiter, right? Arbiter fills your turn meter, but she puts increased attack. Visix needs the increased defense. So I have a couple of like of memer options in here, but they weren't quite right. I think doesn't have enough speed right now. But something like a Doom Screech, believe it or not, a Void Rare, actually perfect for this. Warning Screech, 3-turn cooldown, 30% turn meter fill, and 60% increased defense. Now, unfortunately, mine is quick enough. He's 225, but he's not quick enough for where Visix is. So it hasn't quite worked. What we'll do is I'm going to alter my team here slightly so that we stand a chance. I also forgot to remove my defense for arena, so been climbing arena and hitting some really tough teams, and without a proper synergy, this team looks pretty easy, but without a proper synergy for Visix, it's kind of rough, and I get outsped by a lot of these arbiters, which is kind of rough. So here we go. Okay, Visix didn't even get a go there, unfortunately, but here you can see what she's doing, right? She didn't get a go. The idea is that with Lanicus, who boosts turn meter and triggers an ally attack, Visix could steal some turn meter with her A1, and then we could start laying into these guys. And in this case, Krutrax is going to kill everything. Now, Visix didn't get the A1 off, but that's okay. Her point is that she's locking stuff down. Now, is she the best for this? The honest answer is no. You know, there's going to be better nukers. There's going to be better nukers. This team is low power, so they may be doable. But for example, I would say that Umbral Enchantress, for example, does the provoke thing better. She comes in and she has provoke for 2 turns with unkillable on herself. So she comes in and she does I'm going to AoE provoke you. She does it better than Visix, right, for arena. The advantage of Visix is that she does hit pretty hard. She's got the second AoE to follow up. But yeah, so with this team, I'm just going to put in my usual speedrun team here, which is like Ethos. We'll see if we can beat them. We might get outsped. That's one issue with this team, is getting outsped. Basically, we hope Arbiter goes first and hope that Visix is fast enough. Nah, we're going to get wrecked. We are super wrecked. Goodbye, cruel world. Oh, never mind. She did like no damage. What was up with that? She did no damage at all. There we go. Visix finally gets a turn. Now we might be okay. We've got them locked down. Ethos starts doing some damage at least. And Visix is tanking. She's locking them down. Okay, this is the team I use for all affinities. If I had a Void speed booster now, that would be great. That'd be great, but I don't. So it's just Arbiter. Matt, like I tell you, who would be amazing in this? Sifi. Sifi instead of Crew Traxxer or Ethos. And then you're talking Arbiter into Sifi. Visix locks them down, smacks really hard to increase defense from Sifi, and then your nuker kills them. Like, that would be pretty nice. For Void nukers, like Solus does it better, but I mean, you're getting Visix guaranteed. You're getting her for free. She's not a bad option by any means. Doesn't really thrive there, but if you do end up building her to nuke in campaign, she would do the job. Let's show her now somewhere where she really thrives, where she's very good, which is in Faction Wars. She is phenomenal for Faction Wars. You can use her aura there as well. I'm using a crit rate aura to just boost up her crit rate and Lydia's crit rate to 100%. But you can use her there as well. But she's going to come into this, and she's going to protect your team with ally protection, which is fantastic. And she's going to be locking down these waves with AoE provoke as well, which is exactly what we want. So I can actually show you this because this team doesn't properly work because Rianne is too dumb to strip this buff off. We can see. Let's do it. So we want to bring her through, and we want to have her do single combat on the second wave because we've got a bunch of Valkyries. So let's see her in like best case scenario. This is a very difficult level 21 faction crypt, in case it's not obvious enough. This one is actually quite tough. One issue with Visix, this is where you can run into a problem, is that when you've got her this fast, this guy is so slow that it takes him literally about 5 minutes to take a turn, which is not really what you want. So that's one thing to watch out for with Visix. She'll steal so much turn meter that yeah, this Black Knight on wave 1 can screw you up, which is hilarious and also slightly depressing. So here we go. These Valkyries almost going to get a go. Obviously, I've got Lydia in here. Yeah, I know, but it is what it is. But she's come in. She's AoE provoked everything now, so none of these Valkyries are going to put on their shields or counterattacks. This guy, Warcaster, isn't going to put on block damage. She's going to take the hits, and you can see that she's well able to take the hits. And then our damage dealers can come through and just kill everything, which is what we want. Bam, cool, and we're through. Yeah, Visix makes that so much easier. It's a really difficult wave, especially because Dark Elves really lacks healers, it lacks revivers, that sort of thing. Visix is great. Now you can see right there, look at Visix. Boom. Ooh. Ally protections on everyone. The boss does an AoE attack, and Visix is almost falling over dead. Right? Visix is almost falling over dead. So that is definitely something to watch out for with Visix. I thought the boss is going to kill her there. He might kill her. She works very well with a reviver or with a good single target healer. We have Rianne the Conjurer from Doom Tower in to revive if we do get stuck, though it looks like Foley's going to die rather than Visix. We shall see. The ally protection helping to deal with the damage coming in from this boss. Yeah, this was one of the nastiest faction crypts for me. Now, obviously, when I beat it, I got Lydia, and that certainly has helped. But Visix is fantastic. You can run her in the lead as well, give you that defense boost. And you could run a team with like Visix and Cold Heart. If you get a Sylar's amazing. If you started with Kale, Kale's not bad, all that sort of stuff. There's lots of sort of options there. We're going to just about make it through this time. We made it through, actually pretty good speed. And when we look at the damage, look at this, guys. Again, she's not really built for damage. Not really. But Visix, she's coming in, and she is doing really good damage. She actually beat Ruel out there, which I think is hilarious. Now, he's obviously not in the most amazing gear either. But Foley, as you guys know, he's in my best sort of Savage gear I have at the moment. And she's only a little bit behind Foley. Like, she's not doing bad in terms of damage at all. She really has respectable damage, which people tend to underestimate. If I flip this up on the screen, I can show you a quick little run through from Hydra. So this was just, actually, this was just a Hydra normal team that I was running this week, and I was trying out how Yannicka would do on that team. I got Yannicka. She's obviously, you can see Yannicka's in the middle, not fully leveled or anything. But coming into, especially Hydra normal, Visix is great for Hydra normal, like super good. AoE decreased speed on these Hydra heads slows them down, slows down their bullshit, slows it down, and says, okay, stop taking your turns. Hydra head turns is what counts down this timer, which is ultimately what wipes you. She says, okay, stop doing that. None of that. Slow that down. 30% slow that down. Don't want to deal with it. Puts ally protection on everyone, so she helps your squishy characters. Like here, Ninja and Yannicka, very squishy. She's going to help them stay alive with that ally protection. And yeah, just her double AoE hits are going to go through as well and just proc War Master and everything. So her provoke doesn't do anything for Hydra. Her turn meter still doesn't do anything. But it's her A2 which really makes her special for Hydra. and makes her well worth bringing, on top of the fact that she's going to be pretty tanky. One thing is you obviously do need to bring her with a reviver. If something like the Head of Wrath pops off and does a massive AoE hit, for example, it can potentially just one-shot Visix. So you can see right there, right, Visix, through the ally protection, she's taking tons of damage. So you are going to want something to help top her up. On this team, one nice thing, you can see the healing coming in too. That Yannicka puts out AoE Leech. So sort of Yannicka and Visix, sort of an interesting combo there. All the AoE hits from Visix are going to do a pretty good job of healing her up. We also, of course, have, we've got Rector Drath, who's just straight up doing a ton of healing as well. But yeah, Visix, she's doing a respectable job here. When you run multiple teams, and you have a team that does have decreased speed, and then you run a team that doesn't, that's when you really start to see the difference. If we skip on to the end of this particular run, there we go, just so you can see the stats for this run this week. Like, you can see the stats, right? So obviously, Ninja, right? So Yannicka, she's not fully geared out. She did 5 million, so I'm expecting that to go up another good chunk when she's geared and booked and masteries are finished. But Visix, she's doing pretty respectable damage. It's a solid amount of damage. That's not bad. That is not bad. That's like half of what you need for one keying normal Hydra. It's decent. It's not god tier by any means. And you can see she's taking a lot of damage because of that ally protection. But the main thing she's doing is really slowing down the Hydra and letting your team keep up. And compare it to Arbiter or Rector Drath, it's a lot more than that. Or Norog, who's, again, another pretty good defense damage dealer. Who also does block buffs, AoE debuff, right? She's right up there with him. She's doing a great job alongside of him. So, okay, then for Doom Tower, what I've got, I did a guide, obviously, on budget Doom Tower yesterday. We've gone even more budget here today. The budget has gone even more budget, where every single champion here is a guaranteed champion. So we, of course, have Visix. She's going with Syl. We have Drexar in the lead for the accuracy aura, and he's going to AoE provoke anyone that is feared. We've got Akoth, the Seared, and Archmage Helmet rewards from Doom Tower normal that are going to come in, and they are going to provide us with... let's save some of our abilities here. Let's not waste everything. Let's keep it in for the next wave, just so we get through it cleanly. Yeah, they're from Doom Tower normal, and they're coming in. Akoth's going to do AoE burns, and then... yeah, our boy Drexar can land his stuff more easily. So here we go. Just punch these dudes. But Visix here in this particular comp, look at her A1. Look at that turn meter depletion. So much turn meter control from it. It's very, very good. Keeping their turn meter down, decreasing their speed so we get more turns. Archmage increases our speed so we have more turns. And then like the provokes and everything she's doing as well. So let's go into this wave. This is really nasty wave. Here she goes. Decreased speed. Fantastic. That's going to take a lot of stress off of us. Good. We have increased speed. They have decreased speed thanks to Visix. If attacks do come in, you'll see that her health will go down pretty low. She will drop a lot of HP. It's not going to be pretty if they hit an AoE attack. And of course, her provokes that she's putting out is obviously going to hurt her quite a bit as well. But we have Syl of the Drakes there. Syl of the Drakes comes in and she has healing. She also has that single target revive with ally protection, so she can pick Visix up if Visix ever dies. Oh, we should take this off auto again. And she can just, make sure that we get through no problem. I took it off auto too late. How bad is this wave? It doesn't look too bad. What abilities do we have? Okay, we have the stun from Syl. Visix going in with that A1 steal. Lovely. Absolutely love it. That's fantastic. Okay, we've wasted some of our moves. This is going to be kind of nasty because Elder Skarks are red affinity, which makes Syl, Archmage, and Akoth weak hit. But luckily, Visix can hit them pretty well. Unfortunately, right there, she has been provoked, but she did steal some turn meter, so hopefully she can catch up. We need to get in. I was going to say, we need to get in before this Warlord. Oh, no. No, I didn't bring I didn't stop them. So what you have to do in this sort of circumstance is you have to stop them. Right there, we got, again, because of the affinity stuff, we got kind of screwed. So we'll get to see what happens here. I think we're going to die horribly, most likely, because Syl went down. So yeah, you need to go into this wave with all of your abilities off cooldown, and you need Visix to hit her decreased speed. What I might do, I might replay it, bring it back to this point, and show you how it's supposed to go, because I'm pretty sure we just fall over at this point against these Elder Skargs. The old budget team here is flopping. Frickin' Warlord gotta go. Maybe we'll still kill them. Nah, I don't think so. I think we're probably dead. Unless Drexar can clutch it. Can he clutch it? I don't think so. He's not booked, and no, he's down. Okay, let's rerun it, and let's see how that's supposed to look. All right, round 2. We got through. We used our A1s at the end of the wave. So again, when you're, by the way, sort of companion, you can see this is with even more budget team than the Doom Tower guide. Oh, they still got a move off. Well, that is unfortunate. Can we still make it through? I think we should be better set this time around. We shall see. Visix is looking okay with her speed, because we have her built with speed. She gets to provoke off. Visix saves the day. Oh, almost went wrong again. But making this actually makes me realize how much I miss Yoshi. Like, Yoshi is a step up from Drexstar for this sort of Doom Tower team. He's so good for it. So good. With that true fear that he can put. But yeah, we smashed through. But, you know, stop at the end of these waves, you know, take it on auto and be like, okay, we're not going to use our moves. We're going to go through these last bit of the waves with just A1s. You'd want to stop it earlier than I just did right there. So you get into the next wave with your stuff ready to go. And again, we can see here with this team, you know, Syl doesn't have War Master. And Archmage has bad affinity matchups right here. Akoth and Drexstar doing a lot of damage with HP burn. But Visix is doing, again, really solid damage. She's doing really solid damage. She's the one really taking all the damage for the team with the ally protection. And that's just fine. That actually, you know, they're not taking any damage because the Elder Skargs are reflecting damage with the Elder Skarg passive. Only reflects damage to legendary champions. But it's sort of, you know, the point of this is to show you an idea of what she does. And yeah, so much of her kit fits in, and it fits in with these other champions as well. This is why I'm saying you could build her at like 70% crit rate, because she combos so well with Archmage, speeding everyone up and putting out those and crit rate everyone up, and she slows them down. Put the two in together, having Syl there to back him up as well. AoE burn from your free Akoth when you get him from Doom Tower normal as well. Drexstar with some taunts. I don't have a booked Drexstar, and he's not really geared, unfortunately, so that made this kind of hard. But yeah, if you've got your Drexstar actually built up, it's a solid combo. Again, not as good as the Yoshi team I showed you, but a good solid budget combo that if you put the gear and the books in, it will get you through that stuff as well. But there you are, guys. I think that is basically everything we really need to show you for Visix. Probably more than enough. But the point of this is, here's your 9-month login champion. She is amazing in multiple areas of the game. And even a couple of the areas where she's not necessarily amazing, she will still be useful to you, especially at the point that you get her. If you're a low spender, if you're free to play, possibly even if you're a whale, she might still go into some arena stuff. That it's a maybe. But yeah, she can be great in basically every sort of aspect of the game. I didn't really show her to you in dungeons, but like for a dungeon team, you do something similar. But like you could go into Dragon, and we could do, when you get her, a pretty budget Dragon team. I think I was working on some for the video and decided not to do it in the end. I mean, let's say like Dragon 20. Okay, this is not obviously a budget team. Remove these. But we could go in, and again, you bring in your Syl, you bring in your Visix. Akoth could go in there. Let's say you probably don't have Akoth yet. That might be a bit optimistic. Let's hope that you've got let's use by thing. Okay. Let's say you've hopefully got Archmage. We can stick Archmage in there. That would be pretty nice. If we have some sort of AoE decreased defense, that would be great. Let's say Tyrell comes in with a defense aura. Pretty good. Decreased attack for the boss. And then some sort of damage dealer. Let's say like Royal Guard could be good. Or because these are like defense-based champions, you could put someone in to increase defense. Okay, maybe we're going a bit pay to win here, you know, with Ursula. Hey, look, if you just finish the last fusion, you can stick into Tura, and that's a beast of a team. That's a really solid team with plenty of control, increasing defense. The increased defense ups Visix damage even more. You got decreased defense. Like, that's a great team that can get you through this stuff pretty easily. Or like we could just like whatever stick in our where's our boy? Where's our boy? I've gone too far. Where Galek? Galek is in. He's in, my dudes. Galek is in. And Doomscreech is in for that increased defense and some turn meter. And like this team will work as well, right? Or probably for Dragon, you'd be better off with the rares if we're going rare. Better off with like Frozen Banshee to kill the dragon. And like this team will work super well. And you know what? Screw it. Let me show it to you. This is only level 20, so obviously I outgear it very hard as well. But the idea with this team, again, we've got our trifecta combo here coming in. We don't have decreased defense, so it's gonna be a little bit slow. But they're just gonna control the waves. Like, you can see these guys can't even come close to getting a turn. We've got so much speed, and Doomscreech is going to up our speed more. Archmage giving us speed. The point is we're just running laps around these guys, and there's nothing much they can do. You know, like, how can a wave possibly keep up with you when you've got increased speed and they've got decreased speed? It's just so difficult for them. And then hopefully Frozen Banshee will just kill the boss. So this is Dragon 20, you know. Maybe I should have shown you a higher level dragon. It will work just the same in a higher level dragon. In fact, let's do that. Screw this. This is too easy, right? It's too easy. We've got the gear. Let's go all the way. So let's go 24. Yeah, sure, I'll spend gems. That's okay. Yeah, let's do the same team. We need to do blue affinity, or sorry, green affinity. We can't do stage 25 at Frozen Banshee. She wouldn't poison the boss properly. But like, we'll come in here. We're gonna do the same thing, guys. We're gonna do the same thing. We're just gonna lock these guys down. And yeah, I didn't bring a decreased defense, so it's gonna take a while. Maybe I should have brought a decreased defense instead of Doom Screech here. Something like Ugo. Or Duck the Pierced or something like that. Stag Knight would be great as well. But yeah, you get the idea. You can see how this wave is going. They can't do anything. I'll skip to the boss. I'll show you the boss as well. Okay, we're to the dragon. I wasn't even watching, to be honest. So this is obviously not a fast run. It's almost 4 minutes in at this point. Yeah, I don't think we probably didn't even take a hit against those waves. And that will even be the case if you've got worse gear. It will still be the case that, well, you might take a hit or two here or there, but you'll be able to get through it, right? Basically, none of their defensive stats really matter at this point because none of them are getting hit. Now, they get hit by the dragon. Sill's healing hasn't been relevant, but here we go. We get smashed. I guess actually that's one issue. We might go wrong is that poor old Doom Screech is so squishy. He might get us killed. And it looks like I don't really have much speed on Frozen Banshee. I forgot to check her gear. She seems pretty slow. Luckily, we've got the increased speed. We obviously can't decrease speed this guy. Ooh, this could get kind of nasty, actually. All right, let's see if we can do it. We just have to hope that the ally protection on Doom Screech doesn't keep killing us. Looks like we'll be fine. Again, with just those speed boosts that we've got going on, I think we're going to be just good. Just good. So yeah, there we go. We will get through this. I want to see the damage at the end. But you can see how Visix works. Against this boss, she's not really doing much against the dragon. None of her turn meter stuff, the decreased speed doesn't work, but she will protect our team a little bit. Oh, Frozen Banshee needs about 20 more speed, I think, to actually be faster than the dragon here on 24. She's getting, she isn't managing to get many poisons out, unfortunately. Yeah, her poisons are kind of lacking. You let me down here, FB. You're letting me down. And you can see Visix getting clapped right there. But presumably when you get to Dragon 24, you know, you can put in your whole team of 60s. You wouldn't have a level 50 like I've got with Doom Screech, and you'd be getting through a bit quicker, or you could bring in something like Duck the Pierce. So it's slow, guys. It is slow. You can see Frozen Banshee, even though she's super slow, did come through with the dragon damage at the end. In terms of the other damage, again, you can see Visix. She's doing great. Visix is absolutely clapping that damage, outstripping Sill and Helmet by kind of a factor of 2. She's really absolutely pumping out that damage when she gets that increased defense boost up from Doom Screech. I really should have put in a decreased defense instead. Yeah, something like yeah, like an old Stag Knight or Duck the Pierce would have made that much faster and even safer if you needed to be even safer. But you get the idea. Visix can come in here and do a clutch job of getting you through all of those waves in the dungeon as well. Guys, thank you for watching. This has been way too long, I'm sure. But Visix deserves it. She deserves it. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.